Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Horse Center. As you can see, we've got Swiss Army Shawn, and our special guest this evening is Maclovio Enriquez Jr. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Now, I've seen a couple interviews where people call you Mac, Maclovio. What do you like to go by?
Mac is always the easiest. It's generally what I go by. Mac is
Mac.
okay.
All right. That sounds good. So you got to get you continue on winning like you are, you're going to have to get some kind of sponsorship with McDonald's.
Yeah, right. Big Mac or something
along those lines. 100% for sure. So 2018, let's rewind the clock. Not even very far. You're in high school. You're in West Virginia. Are you thinking about being a jockey at that time? You're thinking about going to college? I mean, that's just not that long ago. What were you thinking?
At that point, I was in high school. My last 2 years of high school, I was studying auto technology. So really, the only thing in my head was just graduate high school, go to some ITT tech or something, and just kind of further that career. I just happened to be at a gas station late at night one time, and I saw Tommy Perez, one of my buddies that I grew up with, his father. I saw him at the gas station, and we just kind of was talking for a second. And he asked if I had a job, and I was like, no, not yet. I filled out an application to be a banquet server just to kind of get by and make ends meet, you know. Mm-hmm. And he's like, a banquet server? You want to be a valet? And I was like, I had no idea what a valet was. I was like, what's that? So, you know, he told me, he's like, you saddle the horses, you know? And he said, I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. So he picked me up the next morning. He took me in. He showed me how to make a saddle, stuff like that. And just being in the jockey room every day and being around the jockeys and the horses and just learning so much and enjoying my job just kind of made me stuck in a good way. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of led one thing to another, and watching the races every day just kind of made me like, I definitely want to go out there, you know.
You got the fever.
Yeah. So oh, yeah. 100%.
So you're working on a farm with Jamie Chuck Latana, is that right? You started riding some of those horses, and you told your mom you didn't want to get paid. You just wanted to ride some more horses. So tell us a little bit about that story and how all of that ends up with you getting your jockey's license. I mean, it just seems from banquet server to jockey within 4 years.
It's hard to grasp for sure. It was one of those things, you know, a friend needed help, and you know, we'll do anything to help. We just was helping. I just wanted an opportunity to ride some horses. I mean, that was, in my opinion, the coolest thing to do, is just be able to ride some horses, you know. And it just became a friendly thing, you know. I wanted to learn, and she was willing to teach me. And it was like, it wasn't, I'm coming by to get some lessons to ride or to learn to do this or that. It was just, we just went day by day, and then like 2-3 weeks in, it was, hey, you coming by the farm? Yep, I'm coming by. And she had babies to break at that point, so it was just kind of perfect timing, especially when you're first starting out. I think breaking 2-year-olds, like teaching them how to do the job and whatnot is super important. And I think that's definitely what helped grasp a foundation for myself.
And a big foundation for you as well as your mom, right? Tell us about how she's encouraged you to do what you're doing. And by the way, is she watching right now?
She should be. She was probably the first viewer. Hi, Mom. I've always wanted to do that.
I'm on TV. No, yeah, right. We're on YouTube.
No. She just growing up, her having to work 2-3 jobs and just be mom and father of the house. I learned early on how hard she was trying to just do its best, you know. And so I kind of got my strength and drive from those experiences growing up, and I just kind of tried to apply them myself any chance that I can to just be independent and become a man, an individual, you know. And anytime things got hard, you know, it was just, like I said, it's super amazing that I have a foundation, a backbone like my mother. Anytime something gets hard, anytime something goes left or right, she's right there, you know.
Fat Dancing Horse says you're one of the hardest working people that they've ever met. So I don't know how many hardworking people they met, but you're one of the hardest ones for sure. And the hard work appears to be paying off. Did you know right now you're number 103 in earnings for the year so far?
Really? I did not know that.
Yes, only $12,000 away from being in the top 100. What do you attribute to all that success? I mean, you better start hitting a couple winners so you can get into those double digits, my man. But
yeah.
What do you attribute all this early success to? And before you answer that, let me just kind of go on a little bit, because a little later on, and Shawn and I are going to talk about a jockey who's been in the business for a long, long time and just scored his first win. And he's been in the business for like 40 years. You got a whole bunch of them, and you just got started. So what do you attribute to all that good fortune to?
You know, through the journey, I've wondered. I've even asked myself, is it luck? Is it luck? And part of it, it's got to be the universe, the way things just happen, because sometimes things are just too good to be true. And but also, it's just like I said, the opportunity started. I put it like this: everybody is shown doorways almost every day, or once a week, or once a month, and it's up to you to either take a step forward and peek in that doorway and see what's on the other side. And if you feel like adventuring, you can go all the way through it and just, open that doorway and take it that way, and I feel like that's kind of what I did. I wanted to peek through a door anyway, and it was just horses. Here's this opportunity, and I peeked through. I asked if I could join, and just I think just showing up and hard work and being passionate is super, super critical about it too, because never once have I ever thought about, a purse money, just galloping, like getting, how I galloped 15 horses today. I made, I never thought about any of that. And, even to this day, if I win a race or something, a lot of the times I don't even know what the purse number is until after the fact. That's just, it's not one of my things. I love the racing. I love the horses. I love young horses. How, it's amazing. So I got to dedicate the hard work, the showing up, and the passion. Passion to it.
I would say you didn't peek through the door. I'd say, as they say, you kicked the damn thing down.
I've been very fortunate to just have a lot of great people around me too. I wasn't scared to ask questions and ask for help. And like I said, thankfully I had people like Bobby Quinones and Deshaun Parker, Terry Houghton, Mario Pino. I mean, great, humble people, and just seeing them being able to be at the top of the mountain, and they can talk to a kid, a teenager, an older person, anybody, the president and an officer. They will talk to them the same way, the same respect, So that I think I learned a lot from just those examples.
Hi, Mac. So I've been stressing all day over your name, so I'm glad we could just go with Mac. It's perfect. And I can confirm your mom is here.
Okay.
She said she's here. So there you go. So before you were a jockey and you've just seen horses and seen jockeys, when you finally got out on the track, what was the one thing that was true that you could imagine, and what was one thing that you didn't expect that you experience now?
The whole idea of just being out there was just kind of too good to be true. Like, it was just, I had this in my mind, and it just kind of progressed, and it just kind of felt too good to be true. A lot of the times it was the unexpected of, I wanted to do better and get better. And I would observe other riders as they're going by and stuff in the morning, and I would just kind of try it. I would use it myself. And thankfully my mother would always come by in the mornings and take videos of me, and she would send them to me, and I would just watch the videos, like, what am I doing wrong? What, like, can I do this? Can I do that? And I think one thing that I wasn't expecting, even to this day, is just the progression of getting better every day is on a huge incline.
What was the one thing different with Mountaineer compared to Laurel?
Definitely. There's a lot. Mountaineer is home. It just hits different when I'm in the area. That's just home. I'm comfortable there. Laurel, the horses, the people, just the beautiful weather when the sun's out. That I mean, it could be a normal day and there's people gathered around watching the races and. There's kids. We can give the goggles and whips to children and stuff. That's super fun. Um, but definitely the horses and the track is pretty big as well. A lot of people don't realize the track is pretty large, and even like the differences in just like the mile race at Mountaineer, it's you go from start to finish, and the mile race at Laurel you start in the by the 3/4 chute, and you got the whole backside and you got the whole straight shot. So it is a large track and little differences like that.
Are you a fan of that stretch? How long did that take to get used to that long stretch at Laurel?
I am a fan of it. The mile race is actually one of my favorite races to ride at Laurel. It did take me. It took me a handful of races to get it down and to realize, okay, we have to be patient here. We have to adjust and get them running early by themselves, and especially going into the turn, so you don't have to ask for them at all until really you switch into the right lead coming down the lane, and then it's race home.
I saw in another interview how jockeys told you you only get this apprenticeship one time. You really got to take advantage of it. Talk about that a little bit, and how long is your apprenticeship good for?
Yes, sir. I have my apprenticeship until November. I believe we're 6 months in. I'm not quite sure. I believe we're like 6 months in. I think I have about 6 months left. You have one apprenticeship, and it can really make your career. If you do really well in your apprenticeship, you can have a huge opportunity to go somewhere else and further your career and become a great journeyman somewhere where you kind of want to settle down, or even just keep traveling if you keep doing like Jose and Irad and them people. Yeah, it's just yeah.
You got to learn that move at the end of the race where you kind of sneak in a little bit on the horse that's coming at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you experienced any of that yet? Rough riding, any bullying out there to you?
A little bit. I wouldn't say too rough, too much bullying, but they will see how you react in certain situations sometimes. I know at Charlestown, this one race we hit the top of the lane, and the horse on my outside, I was on the rail, the horse on my outside, I ended up winning the race, but he hit me really hard. My horse kind of went to the rail a little bit. He switched to the right lead, and his horse switched to the right lead and hit me again. He hit me twice coming down the lane, and I've never felt that feeling ever in a horse. That horse he put his ears back, got super competitive, and he wanted it more than I did. I mean, he stuck his head right in front and got us there home, even having hit like that twice down the lane. That was huge.
That actually leads me into the next question. The first time some people had noticed your name was in early December at Mountaineer, when you had a crazy ride where you almost won the race and your feet were out of the stirrups and everything. You lost all kinds of stuff there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was that was a unfortunate situation. Definitely the whole break situation, and even at that point, I was my braking wasn't the best. I was still very kind of learning, and because racing is you got to really brake, and when them gates open, you got to really go. So it was just super unfortunate, and very very nice horse. It's super sad that happened. She would have been super live in that race.
Quick question for you from Timothy Murray, who owns horses. So maybe there's a meaning behind this question, but do you ever have a problem making weight being a bug?
The apprentice weight is, for a taller rider like myself, it's not easy. It's not something that just kind of happens. I mean, it depends on your metabolism, if you can just eat whatever you want and not gain any weight. but it's just really it's not a problem. It's just, maintaining a good, safe, healthy diet, and sticking to the good foods. You got to just stay away from fast food and the honey buns and stuff like that. You got to just eat real food and stuff like that. And now that it's becoming summer, it's hotter. It's you're outside all the time. It's gonna be very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you got to stay away from honey buns, Terry, sorry, you can't be a jockey. That's what he calls his wife, honey bun. So he's not going to be a jockey at all. So I think, what do you count calories just to make sure you stick around where you need to be to burn them off, or how do you go about handling that?
Sort of. I could rant all day about health stuff. I'm a nerd about health and stuff like that. It's you want to keep track of calories to a certain extent, but it's really just intake and outtake. I mean, if like back in the day, a lot of people were not as big. Everybody was a lot leaner and skinnier. And if you think about, they woke up and they didn't just reach in the fridge and grab something, put it in the microwave, and they had to work for it, and therefore they burned calories getting that meal, whether it was a deer or squirrel, picking berries, whatever. They worked for it. They came back, they harvested, whatever, and then they ate. So the food that they're eating is being put to use. It's not being stored. It's being used as energy, and that's why good fats and high protein is very critical in becoming an apprentice and just having a good, healthy diet in general, because that it'll less likely be stored as fat and go to storage than being burned as fuel.
Sounds like you should have a conversation with Rosemary Homeister Jr. because she's into that diet stuff. I don't know if you saw that show with us when she got around last Wednesday. Was it, Sean? Right?
Yeah, last Wednesday.
Yeah, she's into all that stuff too, like diet, too, like your body, your blood type, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, blood type. That's another recent thing I just got put on to, is blood type. And my buddy Justin Jensen, that is a huge part of my riding career. I could not be the rider I am without Justin Jensen. He sent me this book about the blood type, and I've been going with it kind of word for word, and it's amazing how it's an amazing book.
You said you were on the taller side. How tall are you?
Last time I was checked, I was 5'7", and I believe I grew a tiny bit, so I'm kind of tall.
For a jockey, yes, indeed. So, like I say, you're number 103. So, if you make it to like the top 50, does Mom get a new home? What does Mom get?
That's we're working on the credit. We're always working on the credit. We're saving and doing all that kind of stuff. Mom's definitely gonna get a house. She definitely deserved it. Like I said, nobody knows how hard this woman has actually worked, and kept back tears from just me and the world to just keep going and absolutely give me an opportunity to do better than what she had.
Well, she says she wants a new truck, so that's a little less expensive. I don't know any of that nowadays, though. So for me, I'm a little older. I'm the speed limit, right? Well, not anymore. I'm 55. The speed limit, there's no speed limit anymore. But so when I was a kid, a car was like $3,000, $4,000. Now you go look at like one of these Ford 150s, the electric truck, it's like $150,000. I'm like, damn, my grandparents bought a home with 100 acres for $22,000. Now they can buy like.
Richie's really dating himself here.
Hey, I might be dating myself. It's just it's unbelievable how much they cost nowadays. Right. But anyway, so your friend here says that he's been with you, Brennan. I've watched Mac since from the beginning, grew up together, been watching him since the beginning. Life is crazy, and Mac is going up from here on out 100%.
Thank you, Brennan. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for showing up too. I appreciate that a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brennan was he was another one that was in the barns. He's another one too. He's not riding horses, so he doesn't have the image to even tell his kind of story. There's a lot of people that started so small and show up every single day, rain, sleet, cold, it doesn't matter. They're showing up. They do their job. They do what they passionately want to be doing, and one thing can lead after another. And I've watched that with Brendan as well. So
Well,
congrats on everything with you, Brendan.
That's one of the things we're trying to do in our show is bring forward people that maybe folks haven't heard of before. We've brought people in from the backside. We want to we actually even want to talk to people like when you go on horse racing Twitter that have the horse racing sucks all the time. You've seen those people on Twitter. Yeah. We want to have a conversation with them. So if there's any horse racing sucks person that wants to have that conversation with us, please let us know. Cause we'd like to have those. We want to kind of, as a horse racing fans, bring all that up. This is a show for the fans and for the horse players. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean, you talked a little bit, and I kind of understand where you're coming from, where you're talking about the what is it called? The law of attraction, where, you put something in the universe and it comes to you. So when you're sitting down and you're doing that thinking and you're kind of in your mind visualizing where you're going to be in 5 years, paint that picture for us.
Right now, it's hard to tell because we are doing good in our career as of right now. I have I would love to keep riding and I want to be able to finish my apprenticeship and go somewhere to where I can just be comfortable at a racetrack, ride with good riders, and just continue trying to become one of the greats, one of those Mario Pinos, one of those TD Houghtons, and another side of me also has so many investment plans that I know will eventually take up a lot of time. So I'm afraid there might be like a year or 2 or 3 that I might have to take off from riding in a couple years. So in 5 years, I'm not really sure if riding is the answer or not, just because of like I said, there's investment things that I would like to get into for back home, to be able to put friends that I grew up with back home, give them a job, and give the kids an opportunity to have meals for cheap and stuff like that. So you don't have to spend $3 on a candy bar at the store. You can get a $3 meal at a shack or convention center.
Mm-hmm. So you want to give back to the community. That's admirable.
Absolutely.
And you want to take your knowledge and use what you've been able to accomplish to benefit others, which should get big thumbs up for that. Two enthusiastic summer thumbs up, right?
Yes,
Shawn?
sir. And I think that's super important too. There's so many people, and that's why I love what you guys are doing so much. You guys just don't focus on the trainers or the riders or the grooms. You bring people on here that don't have a chance to be heard or have their story, and a lot, and people tune in from everywhere to just get a little side of what we got going on, and I think it's just super important to I can spread my message to tell people to just maybe be a little bit smarter about what you're doing, and kind of just take a step back and let's focus on getting yourself on the right way, and I think being able to bring jobs and teach about credit and stuff like that, I think doing that back home can help out a lot of individuals, because a lot of them don't know about credit and financing and mortgages and taxes and stuff like that.
Which is crazy, right? Because we spend all this money on taxes to put kids through public school, and stuff that you need to get through life, they don't teach you, right?
It's amazing. It is
amazing.
It's mind-boggling, and that's what I say. Even to my agent when I first got here, and it was kind of, like big leagues, and I'm talking to my agent, and I'm like asking about taxes and stuff like that, and just he's older, so he knows the taxes and stuff like that, and in my head as a young person, I'm just like, how do you, and I've asked him these things. I'm like, how do you know these things? How did you figure this stuff out? And he's like, it's not easy, it's years and years. And I'm like, that's why I really try to learn as much as I can right now, especially with all this stuff going on, because he told me it took years of all this stuff to learn something, and he's giving me years of information right now. I could just soak this up right now, and I have years of information that I don't have to go through. I can just store it and use it later on in life, and but I think school missed out a huge opportunity on just I don't know what they're teaching. They didn't teach me how to do my taxes, I didn't know how to lease a car, finance a car. I didn't know none of that stuff.
Yeah, well, Robert says you don't know what you don't know, and I think a lot of times that's what they want. They don't want people to know because, they say knowledge is power, right? And
yes, sir.
The more knowledge you have, the more powerful you can become. Shawn, any final thoughts for this this young man who appears like he's headed for the moon, man? He's like those meme stocks, man. He's going to the moon.
This is the purpose of this is the purpose of the show too. Like, we know the name, we may see pictures, know the face, but we don't know the individual. And so I'm glad you came on. We got to know you. We'll always stay in touch. I do have one question, and you can, answer this however you want. For those horse racing sucks people, what is your overall assessment? Obviously, we can do better, but what's your overall assessment of how the horses get treated in the business?
I think, let's see. I think I can't speak on a whole. I know every place is different. As far as Laurel goes, I absolutely love how the grooms and the trainers and the owners are with the horses. I mean, it is, how do I want to put this? It's a different feeling when us as riders can go out to the paddock before the race and the groom can tell you stuff about the horse. That shows that he pays attention. He does he's doing things in his job. He's not just coming in, getting, doing his stalls, and then he's going home, getting his check on Friday. He's coming in, he's, feeling the legs. He's, so just knowing that at Laurel, the grooms and the trainers do such a phenomenal job to get them ready and work super hard. I'm very happy with how they treat the animals.
That leads into another question. A lot of times I'll see a jockey get on a horse for the first time, and I'm always more hesitant than if you're on them for the third or fourth time. Do you feel any different, any more confident when you're on a horse a couple times than, say, the first time?
Yes. Primarily, obviously, one of the blatant reasons is just, you don't just. If I didn't know you guys and I just saw you at McDonald's, I wouldn't just tell you guys, hey, you guys want to get in my car and let's just go drive around or let's go to the movies or something. You don't just trust somebody that you just meet or see, and also, especially if they're younger horses, I love to, whenever I'm riding a younger horse, I like to get on them, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Because you get to know them, you get to know what they're funny about, what they like, what they don't like. So when it is time to race, it's time to race, not trying to figure out, you have to if you've never been on the horse, you have to figure a 1,200-pound animal in what, 5-6 minutes, and you have to also try to keep them calm, get them ready. There's so much going on. So I think it's more confident when you get to ride them a couple times before the race.
Have you had that horse yet that you're on the track and you're like, yeah, not today?
I played the fifth.
Well, no, I meant as far as, so you never gotten off a horse and said, no, I'm not riding and it's getting scratched?
No, that has not happened, no.
Okay, and Rich left us now, so.
Yeah, bye, Rich.
No, he'll get back in. So did you watch horse racing before you got into this whole thing at all? And
sort of. Zulema added me to the group one time, and I joined up. And I didn't keep up with it as much as I did within the past, I'd say, month. The past month, I've been really in tune with you guys, and like I said, I'm super supportive of what you guys are doing. Not just because you guys are having me on the show, but before I even got on the show, I was a fan of, like I said, the last 45 days, I've been a fan of what you guys are doing and putting people on and asking them questions. And I love how the fans can ask questions right here too as well. That's super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's anybody out there, and if you know anybody that wants some, 15, 20 minute of interview, just get them in touch and we'll definitely make that happen. I really don't know where Rich went.
Rich, where'd you go? Come back.
Yeah, it was me yesterday with the internet issue. Now it's Rich with the internet issue.
It's always something, right?
Yeah, and we always joke about eventually I'll have my own show playing the host, but I got to get used to that part. So
right, yeah. Now, do you guys think you'll ever have something like you'll be in kind of like a podcast but like a live podcast?
What do you mean? Well, this is live.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, like a live. Like,
we actually did start without video.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then we went to YouTube last June. So.
Oh, okay. So, okay. All right.
Yeah. So next week, will you be watching the Kentucky Derby like the rest of the fans?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Do you have a pick?
No, I really don't like to pick until watching in post braid. For me, it's how the horses are acting in post braid. I mean, it's not 10 out of 10 times, but I like to really, in that day, how I'm feeling and just, you know.
That's something I want to learn more about. What is something a bettor can look for in a paddock? I know like the sweating and stuff like that and just routine with a horse, but what is something that you could tell a bettor they definitely want to look for when they're looking at a horse in the paddock?
Their coat, if they're shiny, if they're dull, you want to look at their waist, their butt, their stomach, if they're eating right, if they're feeling good, the way they're walking. Sometimes horses will like flick their front feet, and so kind of like how they move, how they travel, and just how they're reacting to everything. If there's a little kid screaming and crying and banging, and all the other horses are paying attention to it, but that 5 horse is just sleek, black looking, and he's just calm, cool, collective. That horse is he's ready to roll, I think. But like I said, it's not 10 out of 10 times. So,
yeah.
So I disappeared for a little while.
I said we always joke about me playing host, and now I had to play host for a little bit.
Well, okay. So the dog ate the homework excuse, right?
Right.
So did you hear the dog barking a little while ago upstairs, like faintly? I don't know if you could hear it or not, but
no.
My daughter had come home, and the dog, the dog absolutely loves my daughter. And the dog was getting all hyped up. And I don't know if you have a dog or not, but my dog, when it's hyped up and it's happy to see us, will run to go get something. So it has like these, I don't know what they're like, squishables or something. I don't know what they're called, but these like new squishable things. Uh-huh. And it was next to where the internet is plugged in. So she went storming underneath the desk and like stepped on the circuit, like the surge protector.
Right.
And knocked the internet out. So the dog literally knocked out my internet.
And that's the longest. That's the longest 5 minutes when that internet's loading. It feels back to the dial-up.
Yes.
And you don't know what's wrong. You're like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, okay, Shawn, you froze again. I'm like, wait a minute. Mac left too. I'm the only. Wait a minute. Now nothing's working. And I'm looking. I'm like, oh man.
Bye. We ended the show. Bye.
Anyway. All right, so I'll watch what I missed, Shawn. Do we have any final questions, Shawn? Or
I think we talked quite a bit while you were gone. I didn't know how to go on from there, so we just talked a little bit longer, and I'm sure we could talk more, and we'll definitely bring Mac back on when you're growing, being a bigger star every month. So
thank you guys. Thank you.
A year from now, when you're a real star, don't forget about us.
Oh, never. And I hope to be back on for sure.
Oh, absolutely you will. And I would wish you good luck, but I have the feeling you're sort of the person that doesn't need good luck.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you again. Now you get to go, but for real. I mean, without the internet, the dog. All right, Mac. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Have a good night.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.
That was absolutely crazy, Shawn.
Well, you know what I was thinking too is the only way for me to end it. I couldn't. Well,
I can't end it because you'll be there by yourself. I thought I'd come back and it's going to be over. And I'm like, what the hell happened?
And I couldn't kick him out. I can't let him go neither because I don't have any of the controls. So I was starting to wonder, could you even come back in because you're the host? And I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on here.
I didn't know what was going on either. All of a sudden, you're like, everything's going circle on my screen. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Technology, when you bring guests on, you have 3 people, and it always seems like there's at least one person having some kind of issues.
Hey, look, I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
Ready?
Don't make me a big head. There we go.
You know what that is?
Oh, we got past that 1,000.
Yes, we did. Are you practicing your dance there, Shawn?
Yeah,
it is. Shawn does a great job keeping everybody engaged, but I've been reading all over Twitter too since Elon took charge that everybody's numbers are bouncing, baby. There you go. 1,012. Shawn, get up, take a bow, my friend.
There we go.
There you go. And actually, thank you for everybody for following us.
Absolutely. And enjoying the conversations and everything else and giving us we put a lot of work into it. We're not getting paid right now. It's just really what keeps us going is the great conversations, the great guests, the fans, everything like that. So Rich there you go. You're my teacher. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not the teacher. I'm just telling everybody whatever you want to do. Shawn said, hey, what do you think if we do this? And I'm like, go ahead. Right?
Yeah, we just kind of, the nice thing is we have different approaches, different personalities, and we all get along and we all do our thing. And there's not one person saying, don't do this, don't do that. We all do it together.
Mm-hmm. So we went from one young man who's a rising star and works hard and had a lot of success early. And then we go to another one who's 59 years old, almost 60. And then he's the anti-Tony Black, right? And that he's 60 and he's winning, but he's only won one race and he's self-described as a terrible rider. I mean, horse racing has so many peculiar stories that in a lot of ways, this sport can just live on from almost like the fairy tale fable, lessons that people can learn.
So I read parts of this story, but getting ready for the show and stuff, I didn't get a chance to read all of it, but I really wanted to Google. This was one of those stories I read that I was like, is this even a real story? Just sounds.
So the guy apparently he's been riding for 40 years now. He doesn't get many mounts. I got 60 rides in 40 years. So I mean, to me, that's not really a jockey. That's kind of a hobby, really more than anything. But he won one race finally at 40-1. So it's the kind of horse that's on with it.
My question is, how is that horse only 40-1?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
and why would the trainer say, "Hey, the jockey is a self-admittedly horrible rider"?
Well, apparently it must be a running joke there. But you want to talk about running in sand. I mean, look at that picture. Maybe that's why these 0 for 40. The hoofs are 6 inches deep down there, man.
Yeah.
I'll link to that story in the recap over at horseracingtoday.net. Check it out. It's really kind of funny to me, right? Anyway. So we talked the other day about Las Vegas being that if you were in one of the main casinos, you could only bet in their pool, but now they finally struck a deal where if you're in Vegas next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and you're in the casino, you're going to be in the full pool. I think that's pretty cool. I bet you if you asked, if you were on Jeopardy and asked folks, can you bet the Kentucky Derby
It'd be
at Las Vegas? Yes. How many people you think would have got that one right?
They would just laugh and go, what kind of question is this?
Yeah, they would know something's up, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of those questions when somebody asks you and you're like, wait a minute, this seems so damn obvious that there must be something funny going on here.
Yeah. It would make, especially if it's a higher dollar amount. If it was $100 question, it'd be like, all right, well, that's just an easy $100.
William says, cold double at Thistle today, 30-1 odds. Good pick. Thank you. We had a good day today at Thistle Downs, man. Had that early pick 4 for $18. Hopefully people paid that $18 that we put out there. You didn't even need to spend 18. It turned into 240. And if Terry and I had just a little bit different construction on the back end of the hot dog, the primary pick 4s, would have swept the table on that. Would have been nice, real nice day. But I'll take a winning, profitable day any day, right, Shawn?
Yeah, absolutely. And that $18 turned it into like $294, which was really good, especially for a track like that. And I didn't get to see all the races, but it didn't look like there were too many huge prices in there neither. So it paid pretty well.
I think there was a couple of them in there that hit that paid okay early on. There's a couple short prices that got beat with some good prices. So it worked out fairly well. So NYRA, if you want to bet on the Derby or the Triple Crown races, they're actually selling gift cards, Shawn. I think this might be a good way to get people into horse racing, right? If you, instead of having people buy them, maybe somebody like NYRA can have like giveaways or something, and they can give folks who have never bet on the Kentucky Derby or the Belmont Stakes or the Preakness some of these cards for free. Let them get out there, $20 to bring in a new customer. I would imagine that their cost per acquisition, knowing kind of how advertising works, that their cost per acquisition is over $20. So if they just flat out gave out cards for $20, I would imagine that a lot of people would go to NYRA, open up an account so they can bet that $20 on the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and once they get that feel, the $20, they're spending more than $20 anyway. So yeah, it would definitely be a good thing. And I love the idea. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Christmas, birthdays, I tell people all the time, just even get me a gas gift card. And what I'll do is the cash I was going to use on the gas gift card will now go on my horse racing account. So
boy, you just straight up like open up the dictionary and look up gambling degenerate. And there you go. Ching, right there. Just take that picture. Probably. Polaroid, baby. For sure. Look, your smile's like, yeah, you got me.
Well, it would be a hard point to argue.
So, we talk a little bit about this, and I keep bringing it up, but we have these crypto horse racing. Now, apparently there's 3 of them, right? I didn't realize. I thought they were all like one and the same, but you have Silks, the one we talked about the other day that got the $2 million infusion of cash, Zed Run, and DeRace. And this article talks about the differences in all 3 of them. So if it's something that you're interested in, it's something I'm interested in. I'm also interested if somebody from Silks or Zed Run or DeRace is paying attention. We can use some sponsors here at horseracingtoday.net. We're a growing entity, and you want to get involved with us while we're young before we become expensive, right, Shawn? Before, it's like that hot dog pick 4. Maybe right now you can get in for $18, but down the line it's going to be $300 if you're not careful.
Yeah, and we've talked about them quite a bit too, so we're giving them some exposure so they can help us out a little bit too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to see how this turns out. None of them are live yet, correct?
Well, the first one, I think the Silks. I think the Silks. Actually, you can do it. I think on today's Thursday. I think the first time you can actually buy a horse, early indication, but you have to have like a one of those crypto wallets. So you have to have Ethereum, I think, is the coin that you have to buy it. But it starts on April the 28th. So there you go. More free advertising. We have absolutely no affiliation. We don't make a nickel from anything that we do, unfortunately, except for the shirts. We do make a little bit of money off of that. And a couple people, Shawn, today were smart, right? Maybe they won a few bucks and they headed over to horseracingtoday.net, clicked on the HRT gear. I did as well. I'm going to pick up the number 7 and the number 9. Got that beautiful number 7 in orange. I think you're wearing red right now. Or are you wearing the
No, I'm wearing that orange shirt right there.
So I'm going to pick up the same thing. I'm going to pick up the powder blue number 9. And right now, today is the last day. You can get 20% off. Redeem that coupon and help the show. It's one of the few ways we can make $1 or $2. So if you hit that $294 hot dog pick 4, head on over, buy a shirt. You'll be better looking for sure. I mean, look at Shawn in that orange. I mean, he's never looked better, right? I mean, I've never been smarter with this number 1 cap on, and it makes you a better handicap. I heard 9 out of 10 dentists say so.
Yeah, it's not expensive, and then the 20% off, it's even cheaper, and the stuff looks and feels great. So,
and speaking of looking and feeling great, Shawn, you have this contest so far. How many people got knocked out today so far?
I think there was 3 or 4.
It's going to take forever.
All right, hold on, we're here. All right, so 2 people got knocked out with Victor Santiago, and 1 person got knocked out with Ruben Severa at Parks. So we're got 3 people knocked out.
So what are we down to now?
We were at 36, I believe.
Yeah, 33. It's going to take us to Christmas. Anyway, spent a few hours today working on this. What do you guys think about this? This is the Survivor logo. What do you think about that, Shawn? I sent it to you. What do you guys think about this? It took me about 2 hours to create this. Little bit of Googling and YouTube watching, and this is what I came up with. So what do you think, Shawn?
It looks great. Unfortunately, I will not be the one owning that. Somebody's going to get that first shirt like that, whoever wins this. So,
well, this is just going to be the logo. Then underneath it, of course, we're going to have champion or Grand King or something along those lines.
Yeah, it looks great. You do a great job with just freelancing your artwork on the computer there.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I just Google everything and look it up on YouTube. And then, just like the young man was with us, Mac, just say, you know what, do it, right? That's it.
Yeah, and you've done a lot like that. And you look like a pro every time you do it.
Yeah, just pure luck, man. The grace of God, for sure. Any final thoughts since we've gone wire to wire today with all sorts of interesting, had an interesting guest and then an interesting excuse. And then you have anything interesting to close with?
Well, all I'll say is what I say a lot, and this one really. I knew of Mac, and he's been riding really well. I've had some interaction with him. Really nice kid, but personality-wise and the head he has on his shoulders, I was floored with. Whatever he decides to do, he's gonna be a great success and be great. Great for other people too. Like he really wants to help out other people, which is a great thing. So not many kids his age have that. So it's great to see.
Well, I can say, Shawn, from all the young folks that we've had on jockey wise, that part of horse racing is in, like Allstate says, in great hands. There's just no question about it. We've met just one tremendous high character young person after the next. And I don't know what it is about this sport, but there's something that attracts those sort of people.
And I'm glad I'm the one that gets to do it, but I wish more people actually got to do it. Just texting these guys, calling these guys, girls, jockeys, trainers, and whatever. There are a lot of great people out there that go unnoticed.
Well, our guest tomorrow night's not going to be unnoticed. Who's our guest tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night we have Donna Brothers on. Former jockey. She's done it all. Former jockey. She's on NBC with the pony riding, getting to interview the guests. We'll also have Eddie C., who we've had on before from Twitter, will also be on. He's friends with Donna, so he'll join us and interview Donna with us.
And then, unfortunately, we got some bad news today. Eddie Olczyk, he's got to do an NHL game, playoffs. Man, the hell with the NHL. You should be on this show, Eddie. You know, it's like Bigfoot for me. I've been trying to get this guy to come on the show for years. I don't think he really exists, Shawn.
Yeah.
You notice you never see Bigfoot and Eddie O in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, I sent that text message over pretty quick, but after I sent it over, I was like, man, I'm going to break Rich's heart again. But we will definitely get him rescheduled. It won't be next Thursday, so we'll have to find another guest for Thursday. This Thursday, we have Golden Gates announcer Matt Dinnerman on. So that'll be great. He's pretty young too, in the announcing, and he's another one that's just great for the sport. Big ambassador. And then next week, Derby week, John Ortiz on Monday. Tuesday still unfilled. Wednesday we have Christoph Lemire coming in to ride from Japan to ride
Crown Pride.
Yeah, I was having a brain fart there.
That's all right. It happens.
So that will be another great interview.
The dog turned off your brain.
Yeah, there you go. That excuse definitely not even realistic. So, yeah. So we have to fill Tuesday and Thursday yet, but Monday and Wednesday is off to a great start there for next week.
Looking forward to Donna tomorrow. Matt on Thursday. Tom and I will be doing Newmarket with a guest from England. Who does a little bit of handicapping over there. So that's going to be our show on Friday. Saturday, Terry and I will clean up a little bit of the stakes races that we don't cover with Matt. So probably primarily over at Santa Anita. And then, boom, it's Derby week, baby. All right, then, Shawn. Until then, we hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday. Earlier today, I thought it was still Monday. So I've got it figured out now. It's Tuesday. Everybody have a fantastic Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow, Terry and I, at 12 o'clock Eastern to go over Keeneland. Hopefully, we're just as strong at Keeneland tomorrow as we were at Thistledown today. They have a pick six carryover, I think like $60,000, so it's going to grow. And Terry and I will take a crack at that, along with our normal hot dog and prime rib pick fours, our box it ups, and our best bets and long shots. All right, Shawn, that wraps up Tuesday, baby. Any final thoughts?
Well, if you hit that pick six, that will be really you'll be turning.
Well, then we'll be able to pay. We'll pay Eddie Olczyk not to do the.
There you go.
We'll cover his pay for the day,
or we'll just sponsor the show ourselves, right?
We can do that too. All right, Shawn, that wraps it up. We hope you have a fantastic Tuesday night, and as always, we hope everything that you do between now and the time we get back again tomorrow ends up in the
winner circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic night. Thanks for joining us this evening.